Back again. Yeah. Welcome to the Roscoe's Tavern viewing party of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17!
How we doing?
You ladies want to have a seat? We have
Sure.
such a good crowd.
Oh my goodness.
Let's see. All right. How are you? Welcome back.
We missed you.
We missed you.
No, my boyfriend's brother got married, so congrats, Josh and Kaylee. Thanks for having me. But yeah, I'm ready to be back. I'm so mad.
Everyone thought you got married.
Oh no, but yeah, they did. I was like, not yet, not soon.
Not yet.
But,
well, welcome back. We missed you, my love.
Thank you, Diva. Thank you.
All right. So, are y'all ready for a show?
We are.
I said, are y'all ready for a show? I'm super excited about this one. Are you excited, Batty?
I'm so excited. Two of my favorites are here.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right, let's just bring them out. Please welcome the very talented, ridiculously talented OMG. I'm enjoying her so much. Give it up for the super lovely and talented
Suzie Toot.
Yes. Come on down.
Holy how the f*** are we doing, Roscoe? Oh, you guys are awesome. I can't wait.
Hey, Suzie.
Keep that energy going for the one and only Mr. Carson
Kressley. Oh my gosh, thank you. Please stay seated. Stay seated. Excuse me. Pardon me. Oh my God, so much walking. I did my steps now. I don't have to exercise for a week now.
Welcome, my love. How are you two doing?
I'm fantastic. It's so good to be back in Chicago.
Yes.
No, we love it here.
It is a key every time we have you here, Carson, so thanks for coming back, babe.
No, I come for the nuts on Clark, but I stay for Roscoe.
He is always.
Last night I messaged him. I messaged him. I was like, oh, I see Carson nuts on Clark. I'll see you tomorrow. She's in town.
Suzie, is this your first time in Chicago?
First time ever in Chicago.
OMG!
And so far, absolutely lovely. I went thrifting this morning.
Love it.
Walked down. The roads are so gay.
Yes.
I loved it. Every street, I was doing that meme of the guy who's like walks around the rainbow flag on the floor. It reminds me of Wilton Manors. Like, it's so gay and so cute.
Yes. No, I live for that. Well, speaking of gay, Suzie, did you know Carson was going to be here with you when you did this thing?
Because I was like, oh God, like what queen am I going to have to like share the attention with, like, whatever. And turns out the biggest queen of all.
I know. The biggest and the oldest. Yeah.
No, I was so excited. I'm obsessed with Carson Kressley. Also,
stop.
have to tell you, my mom is obsessed with you.
I love
from Queer Eye.
We'll FaceTime her.
I love that. We're gonna FaceTime her right now, but we gotta get started.
Commercials.
To the show.
This is good.
Listen, that is one of my favorite things when you see the confessionals. I want to know what are your thoughts when you see them.
Oh, it's so good. Okay. I cannot wait for this next segment because in my mind that sequence had no drama for me.
Okay.
So it's gonna be a different viewing experience. Oh, this is super good.
I love that. Okay, first question, right off the gate, you are a winner.
True.
First episode. Did you feel any pressure after that? Like, what was the feeling after that?
It was definitely, and especially because our first challenge altogether was a design challenge, I was like, oh, the storyline. Oh, the girl who wins the first challenge gets sent home on the design because she can't sew for But then I did that fiercely, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm here to the end. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna win. That's where my mind was at in this moment.
I honestly think, seeing the confessionals and what they were saying, that you were completely underestimated. Do you think the girls made that mistake?
Absolutely. And I knew that they would. Like, coming in just with the energy that I have and knowing how I exist in drag dressing rooms back home, I'm like, oh yeah, no one expects it from me until they see me on stage. And also, my makeup that first day, I remember getting ready in the hotel, and I was at a very experimental point with my makeup where the eyebrow was just wherever it wanted to be. And that day, I was like, let's just go big. let's just be, speaking of, let's go have somewhere to go. And yeah, my makeup looked how it did.
Well,
it was winning makeup, honey.
Yes,
exactly.
It was the winners. If you can look at that camera and give Michelle just a few words in response to her criticism for your makeup, or you can look to your left and give them to Carson if you'd like. Whatever
please.
you want.
I'm here.
Yeah, whatever you want. What would you say?
Well, first of all, Carson was always the one who got me.
Totally.
You saw last episode the crazy quilt reference. The only person in that building who knew that reference other than me was Carson.
I was alive during the Depression.
Exactly.
So I was like, I remember that when I was a baby.
But I am acutely aware of the fact that it is reality television. And also, being a super fan of Drag Race, I was like, I'm not getting away with this. I'm coming in here doing my thing. It's going to be a point of discussion. So I was gagged live on stage last week when it was the commentary after the Safe Girls went to Untucked. And Michelle was like, Betty Boop just doesn't work for her at all. I was like, oh, okay.
Tell her something right now.
Hi, Diva. Hi, Michelle. I love you, Buki. Mwah.
That was very smart. The show is not over.
No. I love that when this was exiting, we saw Lexi a little upset, and she was actually a lot upset a couple weeks ago during the design challenge. Yes. If you haven't heard, she yelled at Hormona, but also the girls were saying that she had a little heat for you too. Is that true?
See, I knew you were going to ask me about this. I have it ready right for you. So what happened was, I will tell the tea, the full tea and nothing but the tea. That night, so I had never heard that we could not use our own rhinestones. That was not addressed to me. That was never told to me. Supposedly, allegedly, this part I don't know because I wasn't there for it, Lexi and Hormona had heard at the same time that we weren't allowed to use rhinestones. That's alleged. That's alleged. That could not be true. That's alleged. So that night, I went home and I stayed up with Paula Abdul on repeat in my on the iPod, rhinestoning this thing. And I came in and we all meet to get down the elevator in the morning. And Lexi was like, "What the is that? What do you have?" And I was like, "I rhinestoned it. Isn't it cool?" She's like, "No, I had to pull off this whatever."
Oh, that's all. We're going to come back to that. We're going to come back to that. Love that. Okay. Before we ask any questions, we're going to go back to
finish the story
drama.
real quick.
Yes.
The drama.
Let's go back to that.
So, last our heroes met, Lexi had noticed my rhinestones and Hormonas, and for design challenges, you get an hour before cameras go up to do any last-minute touches. But there's no cameras, there's no nothing. So, that is when the Lexi Hormona thing happened that they talked about later. And while that was going on, I honestly don't know how that started, but the conversation was being had that Hormona had to remove her dress, and Jules looks at me and she goes, Suzie. And I went over and she goes, "They're making Hormona take off those rhinestones. Cover that in glitter right now. Cover that in glitter right now." I didn't say a word. I went right back to my station, got to be red glitter. So that's why you couldn't really tell it was rhinestone, because it was covered in red glitter. And maybe she kept it.
No, hold on. I'm calling production right now.
Yes!
Apparently, we had a cheater.
We have a cheater! The funniest part of the whole thing is that was the biggest drama, and all three of us were safe. So it didn't matter.
That part.
We all got back, we were called safe, went back into Untucked, and we were like, oh, we were being kind of crazy, weren't we?
Okay, so you're getting ready for RDR Live.
And I'm the most annoying person in the world.
The workroom is so chaotic right now.
Oh my God. Just watching that whole segment, I was like, am I having a stroke?
Yeah.
But all those sounds were like, wop, 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 and there was sound effects and music, and I was like, I can't even understand a word they're saying. There was a lot going on.
I do love that you rejected every single idea that was thrown at you. Did it really go down like that? Were you just like, no?
That was a fun version of what happened.
Right.
there was a lot of conversation, and I'm about to continue being annoying right now. But I used to do like a district theater competition in high school, and I was always like, I love to direct. I was always helping people with scenes and scene work and the structure of comedy. Blah, 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 blah. So I addressed that at the beginning and was like, is it okay if I offer my advice and my things? And they were both in the moment so trusting and so like excited and happy for that help. It didn't quite read that way, and maybe that's how she really felt. But it was funny.
It definitely was fun to watch. Do you have a question?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I just want to say Hormona was just texting me, and I just sent her a gif of a beaver. She's never heard of a beaver. That is hysterical.
I mean,
hello.
I know Chattanooga's remote, but certainly they have talked about beavers there before.
She said she didn't know Beaver. Carson turned to me and went, where is she from? And I went, Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Yeah. We love Chattanooga if you're
We
watching.
love Chattanooga. Shout out. Shout out.
Hello,
Chattanooga.
Lookout Mountain.
Is that a gay spot?
That's yeah, of course. Yeah, I've been to all of them.
There
All
you
of the cruising lookout sites.
Oh gosh, yes. Back when we had to look them up in a book. I'm not even lying. There was a book and it said, "Go
was
to
it
this
called?
mall." It was called the Damron's Guide. Do you not remember? No, nobody
No.
does. Is anyone over
She was
30?
born-
Our
She was
DJ
born in
Mikey
2000.
is completely.
No.
Our
Is he
DJ
nodding?
Mikey
Are you
is
nodding?
completely aware of
yes,
this
there was a
book.
book and it said where the restaurants.
Is anyone as old as Lexi Love in the building? Do we have
No.
queer
Wow.
elders in the
All
building?
of us.
Wow.
We are all older than her.
Wow. We are nearly twice your age.
Okay,
Yeah.
allow me to say something about that because
Yes.
Lexi is the first person to call herself old and ancient and grandma doesn't understand anything. So of course we all latched onto that because it's hilarious. And then we're the ones getting called ageist. I'm like, word. Maybe a little bit.
Just a little. I mean, I also think it's really fierce because. Oh, well, let's go back
Never
to the
mind.
show. Wow.
Two
So
sketches in.
good.
So good.
Very good.
First person I want to mention, Anya. How natural.
Such a
Wow.
star. Such a
so
star.
good, right?
Scene stealing. Yeah. Really
I mean,
amazing. Oh, can I
love.
also mention one thing?
Please.
Sure.
From the production side, and you don't always see that part on the show, but the writing and the production and all of this for this, watching it, I'm just like, you know, we're there and we're on set, and it's usually like a green screen, and you're in like basically a big studio in the middle of the valley, and it's like you don't have a live audience. So when the host came out, like that was perfection. The writing, the production, like the intro scene for RDR Live, like all of that looked so good. And I'm so proud to be associated with like such a well done program.
Yes.
And just a shout out to our amazing the producers. They write all this stuff like literally like in a camper the night before, and it's just so well done. So cheers to production.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
good. That
Yeah,
was really
so
good.
good.
Really nice.
So good.
Any standout for you're watching it now? Is
Have
this
you
the first
seen-
time you're watching
Yeah.
it?
No, we did get to see it.
Okay.
We got to see it on set, the like semi-finished product
But
without
it's
all
not
the
the
fixins.
same.
It's not nearly the
You
same.
don't have like we get to see, you know, when we're judging it. I wasn't there that night, but you see the clips.
Yeah.
But they're not finished. They don't have all like the background sounds and all like the gag laughs and all that.
Right.
So it's very different from what you get to see.
100%.
Now, with the RDR Live on All Stars 8, you were only allowed to do it once as if it was a live show. Did they apply that for your challenge this time, or were you able to do it more often? Now, rehearsal is one thing, but
Yeah.
then like to record action, it was only one take.
I think that with my skit, it was that way. Like it was, you get a rehearsal and then a take, and I think that something had messed up mic-wise, so we did a second take. But it wasn't like you had to do it then and there.
Yeah, that happened at Candy Muse too. Something had happened, and and she got to do it more than once because
Here I was.
something technical happened.
She's cheating.
And Candy got to do it a few times. Candy, I love you. Don't hit me.
See, I didn't know I was walking into a trap. Naysha will get you.
It's fun to watch because it's pressure, and you got to watch off the monitor. Yes, did you guys have?
No, not live.
No.
We filmed them all separately. So and in a different order.
On the
Were you on a
monitor?
teleprompter?
Did you get
yes,
teleprompter?
yes.
There we go.
We had a
Teleprompter.
teleprompter.
Okay, I could feel it kind of from the Beaver one that they were kind of just staring, looking at the teleprompter, as opposed to the first group. They were on an angle, so it didn't look so straight on like that.
But I'll have you know that I was memorized.
Yes.
Of course you were.
The worst. The worst. I hate her.
How on spot though that this is on right now because SNL is actually celebrating their 50th anniversary right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so cool. They're really doing their thing over
And
there.
this season of SNL has been so good
Yes,
so
it
far.
has.
I watched because of Chapel, and then I was like, wait, they're doing good out here. But this season has a lot, like with Doechii, with Squid Games, with they knew what they were doing.
Speaking of Chapel, real quick before we jump back in,
Yes.
I know that you opened up for her for a concert. Let's talk about that real quick.
I opened up emotionally for Chapel Roan. We had a great conversation. So this was before she blew up like big. I did her show last November in Fort Lauderdale at Revolution Live, and it was the coolest experience. Me and Kat Wilderness, if anyone knows Kat,
Yes.
Miami legend, and pays the queens fiercely, respected us, was excited to meet us. Other stars who may or may not have been guest judges on Drag Race 17 maybe don't pay their drag queens.
Like who?
Wow.
Not coming to me. I don't remember.
Wow, Katy Perry.
Sexy,
big.
confident.
I mean, Katy. What the?
Carson, I need you to start paying your dancers.
Yeah. I usually pay them after. Yeah. I say the money's on the dresser now. Get out. I'm the only person who doesn't have a show that hires dancers. Yeah, you know.
Absolutely.
I do it for for the economy.
Of course. We're in a recession.
We are,
It's okay.
or a depression.
He gets it. But before we jump back in, who are some standouts from these first few sketches for you both?
So far, I mean, I think Hormona is really popped in that scene.
Yeah.
I was watching it back.
Yeah.
It's different with time.
We're gonna come back to that because we have to go right back to the show. I want to
Yeah,
hear.
we've got to get right back to the
Gonna
program.
get right back. I'm a beaverologist.
All right.
Can we get Suzie a round of applause? She ate
Yes.
Yeah.
as Jules would say, piggy over here, girl. Yeah.
Piggy.
I have to say, and I'm not gonna say it just because you're here, but I watch you and runways. I mean, you give me winner energy.
Yes.
You just do. You are. My food's here. I forgot what I was saying. No,
That's winner energy.
No, I'm
right
kidding.
there.
You're just so comfortable up there. Now, is it true to what we see? Like, are you super comfortable up there?
Yeah, I mean, with a challenge like that, when you get a script and you have to be a character and make it funny, I was like, I mean, that I could do in my sleep. Like, I was so excited at the top of that day.
And
yeah.
you made a very smart choice choosing that character, by the way.
in
very
the way
smart.
that it's so referential and so like.
And it could be so wacky, and you
Yeah.
can really stand out. And I think the key to these group challenges where you're with, 2 or 3 people in one scene, you have to figure out a way that you're going to pop and we're going to remember you. And the other 2 gals in your scene were just fine. I was actually very impressed by them.
Yeah.
But I don't remember anything they said because you literally rolled in your swivel chair. And I was like, okay, it's over. You win.
There was a very handsome production assistant that was manning the chair and pushed me on. And I was like, oh, thank you. But I remember watching season 16 and watching Q doing the brick in RDR Live.
Yeah.
And that's that Weekend Update side character. And I remember watching that and being like, if I was there, if I was doing season 16, I would go for that brick immediately.
It was also very like Sherry O'Terry, like it was very old school, like SNL.
Now, who is Sherry O'Terry?
Oh, damn.
Back in 1990.
Okay, she was born in 2000.
I know, I have to remember that.
I do
she
wanna
looks
ask-
so much older.
Don't you do that.
Yes!
Wow. So,
We're just having fun, everybody.
So
It's
It's a key.
fine.
It's a key.
I do have a question. Earlier, Anya had said, she said, choosing a character, you should feel like you relate to the character. Do you think that helps when you relate to the character, or do you think it's better to be so far off from the character that it's not like you? You know what I mean?
It's hard. I feel like, in especially within impersonations, there's a world of like you have to love somebody in that like gay diva worship way of they're hilarious and I want to imitate and make fun of them and exaggerate what they do out of love. And that's like I pulled from so many women in my life that I know for that cigarette smoking mom with the beehive. But it can be a detriment in that like, oh, you're playing too safe or you're playing too whatever. Yeah.
Oh, I think you have a wide range. I think that somebody that was really successful at that was like Hormona Lisa. Like it was kind of like she was kind of herself. So there was an ease about it. And when you see that in the finished product, as a judge, you want to see that ease where it's like, oh, that was easy. Anytime an artist or a performer or an athlete, I can't believe I'm saying athlete because I don't watch sports, but
So butch.
when they make it look easy, that's what you want to see as the viewer. So yours maybe wasn't as easy because it was further from who you actually are. You made it look easy. Hormona made it look easy.
Yeah.
Those were both smart choices.
And Naysha, I think you look very easy tonight.
Thank you.
Well, she always does.
Before we get back into that, Carson, as
Yes.
was watching RuPaul, leans over and tells me, "That is reggaeton."
While she was performing, while she was singing. I think that's
Do you know what that is?
Reggaeton.
Reggaeton. Do you know what that is?
Reggaeton.
I'm like,
Reggaeton.
reggaeton, honey.
That's reggae.
I'm like the
I
85-year-old
love
white
these-
grandmother. I believe that's reggaeton.
It was so good.
You know, I was so proud of myself. I was
I
like,
love
I've
it.
heard this once before.
Oh my God.
She was doing the
love it.
bachata.
Yeah, bachata. The bachata.
Oh, I
anyway,
love it. It's so good at the holidays.
we
Bachata.
I forgot what question we were on, but I do want to ask another question. If we remember, we'll go back to it. But okay, I can't look at the challenge and say, well, this one was bad.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so if you had to put two people in the bottom after watching it, who would you put in the bottom?
I mean, I think the only one who struggles in a clear way was Lydia. And I love Lydia to death. This was not her day.
She was kind of a standout, but not in a good way.
Exactly.
I agree. It's because Acacia had the cadence of the Golden Girls.
She knew the
She
reference.
knew what she was doing. Lydia just didn't hit the zingers the same way Acacia did. So no, fully agree there.
Very this. And good writing, so it
It's
worked.
good. That's
but
the thing about this challenge is when we were handed the script, I was like, these are funny. These are genuinely like funny lines that can, you don't have to work so hard when
It's written out for you.
when it's written there. Exactly.
So Lydia, and who else?
Corey King.
Corey.
yeah, that
were
first
talking- I
number
was
wasn't great.
Yeah.
The tribal, whatever.
The first one,
Yeah.
The
Cave
caveman.
people.
cavemen. Yeah.
Yeah, cave people, cave them.
Cave people.
Cave days.
Yeah.
Batty and I were saying
Hey,
it
thanks.
wasn't bad. It was just Arietti, Lana, and Anya just showed her up. So
Yeah.
she just kind
She
of
just wasn't at that level of over-the-topness. I
Yeah.
mean, Lana came out and shaking her tits.
Oh, and
It was
Lana,
just- and she
if
looked
you have anything to
gorgeous.
say, she like steps forward and then steps right back, and shaking her tits, and then
Yeah.
answers the question. That was so good.
Yeah.
And she kind of like slayed without even doing that much, which
Exactly.
again, it looked so easy and it was so natural for her. And she found out a way to like, again, you want to be the scene stealer, and she was the scene stealer in that particular scene.
Down.
So we have Corey and
Corey and Lydia, the
and Lydia.
lesbians.
That's what you would
How do
think.
we feel about Sam Starr's lesbian?
I mean, she was definitely the lowest energy lesbian.
In the three. Okay.
Which can be, and with Drag Race, there's always an element of like louder, faster, funnier. Like that's the format. But I thought their whole skit was really good.
I agree.
And I think that helps too. That the skit as a whole, if it's really funny, I think kind of like takes you out of sight, maybe.
Yeah.
For being in the bottom, where if a skit just isn't really hitting, they start to dissect.
That's where you're picking
a
from.
little bit more.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah,
wait a
yeah.
minute, this one. You know what I mean? Would you agree?
I agree. I'm just so proud of this cast. I think this was such a good challenge, and like coming off of, I thought the design challenge was such a good job overall. I think it's a really strong group of girls.
I agree.
It really is.
Yeah.
It was.
Now, we saw Lexi talking about some of the girls being very kumbaya, some not. Could you
Oh,
elaborate more on
yeah.
that?
Yeah,
Who,
what was that
okay,
all
who
about?
couldn't take the
because
drag?
it's gonna come
we're
back.
back.
I got excited.
Okay,
Work.
let's go back to the question you had just asked about
The Kumbaya.
Yes,
the kumbaya.
yes, Bill, and then
Yeah.
we'll get into runways.
So there
Yeah.
was an idea and a murmur and a thing, a joke about Kumbaya girls and who the Kumbaya girls are. I, up until this very moment, thought that I was not in the Kumbaya girls. And Lexi, in a confessional, just named me captain of the Kumbaya girls. So
I think it's a compliment.
well, no. Because they're saying is like the Kumbaya girls, you can't be fully shady with them. You can't.
Yeah,
right,
And
you
you know
can't be
those
a drag
people.
queen,
You can't be a
yes.
drag queen. So I'm excited to see how that develops.
Okay, now let's get into the runways. So we're gonna go through the
Yes.
list. You're gonna
Okay.
tell me whether it's 10s across the board or it's a chop.
Top. And only those two options.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love
Don't be
that.
like, well, I thought
No. Two to
Chop,
boot,
yes,
baby. That's all we get.
Exactly. So it's a chop or 10s across
I'm
the
here,
board.
I'm here.
Okay, we'll go ahead and start. You want to start, Kara?
Sure. In case you forgot, what do we think of her?
Tens. I really liked it.
Did you?
What was it? What was
Oh,
it?
She
what
had the
didn't
pink
you like
designing
about
women's
it?
jacket. I didn't like the hair. I didn't like the hair with it. I
The
wanted
hair was
Really?
a chop.
Oh, the
for
designing
me.
women.
Yeah.
Carson, the only thing Carson liked was the hair.
Yeah, I only liked the hair because I thought it was suited her brand. I thought it was a 5. You know, it's not super memorable.
So it's a chop. That would be a
Okay.
chop.
Yeah. It's a chop.
You don't get to. Yeah, ain't no half
Chop.
price.
Yeah,
babe.
yeah.
Well, I
there's
always
no-
rank them from like 10 to 0.
Yeah, you start high.
So she was
Let's
right
go
in the
with-
middle.
So it's a 0.
It's a
It's
0.
a 5.
All right. Next up, we had Ariete.
Ariete.
Oh, Ariete.
I love everything she wears. This was not my favorite Ariete look. Yeah.
So it's a chop.
God, that's crazy.
I
It's
know.
I
one or
can't
the
say
other,
it's a
boo.
chop.
It was so
I know.
big.
It's
It's
more
gorgeous.
tens than it is chop, but it's Ariete. It's a different scale.
So it's-
so I'll give it tens. I'll give it tens.
I'll give it. I'm gonna give it 10s. I thought it was beautiful.
Okay, I loved it.
I will agree.
Okay, what about Crystal Envy?
Crystal Envy.
She was wearing
The
the
bubble gum?
silicone.
And the
Oh, I
latex
really
strips.
loved that.
The bubble gum.
I
yeah.
like that it was unusual materials.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it a 10. We've seen like
I
the
feel like
look
we've
before,
seen it
but
before.
I know, but I thought the construction and the materials made it new.
Yeah, and the presentation, the bubble gum.
The pop
Yeah.
was good.
Loved
Yeah,
that.
it really popped.
Okay, Crystal. Suzie said it was a chop. Hormona Lisa.
Mona Lisa.
Mona Lisa.
Daughter looked gorgeous in pink.
Did you call her daughter?
Daughter looked
That's
Daughter.
gorgeous.
Oh
it
yeah,
was
she's
it was fine.
yeah.
It didn't wow like others did. It didn't
It's,
wow.
it's
didn't
beautiful
wow.
and pageanty. It didn't really tell a story for me.
True.
Like, what was it about? It was
Well,
beautiful and,
And she
pretty.
did the same shape in the design challenge.
Well, yeah. So
Yes.
then
Oh,
that
not
would
too
be
much,
a chop.
Kumbaya.
That would be
That
a
would
chop.
be a chop.
And that's why I'm not the captain of the Kumbaya girls.
Jewel
Exactly.
Sparkles.
Yes.
Loved.
It was gorgeous.
Yes. Yeah.
Loved it.
Jewel Sparkles.
Beautiful.
Yeah, love.
won.
Yeah.
The pants that were the skirt.
Yes.
That was so
It
But it
looked
also was a
like a,
pageant gown
um,
she had competed in before. That's kind of cool, she said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that it was.
And it was made by Jeffrey Kelly, who made this very
did you
garment
know?
right
Okay.
here.
Work.
Okay. Thanks,
So,
Jess.
yeah.
If you don't know, look up Jeffrey Kelly. He's pretty awesome.
Everything.
He's from Florida. All
Next,
right.
Corey King.
Corey King.
I love her. I think she's so funny.
That. Yes.
So
our next diva.
listen.
I mean, it was super cute.
Next.
It was just simple.
That's
Yeah.
it.
so
That's it.
much personality.
Next up, we had Lana.
Lana.
Lana looked gorgeous.
Oh,
Little
everything.
love tens.
Yes.
Sense.
Little Bo Peep.
Oh yeah, so cute.
Little
Tense.
Poppy down.
Lexi.
Gorge.
Loved. Leopard. Rose art. Pink.
Yeah, we loved everything but the shoe.
But the shoe. The
Okay.
shoe was
Shoe was
too-
jarring.
Because it was
Okay.
like white
Okay.
or
It was like-
something.
it was like
Or
light
off-
pink.
Like a
It was-
light pink.
yeah, it was
Okay.
too late, I think.
Lydia.
Lydia.
Lydia Butthole Collins.
Oh, that was great.
She came out as a full-on.
On
a full on.
Yes.
Who else can say they did that?
Yeah.
That
I
is
mean,
fierce.
come on.
Yeah.
I'm
that was-
obsessed. She's one of my favorite drag queens
I love that.
ever. And that look is one of the reasons why. I love her.
Love it. Anya Nerve.
I thought it was so. It just needed hair.
Welcome,
That's okay.
queens. I've made
Wow, wow, wow.
Judges'
okay.
critiques.
Before we go into the
Ooh,
critiques,
yeah.
I
Yes.
do want to talk about Sam Star's. Okay, whatever. We'll skip that one. Susie's outfit.
Yes.
Her runway.
Did we
The
live?
runway
Did
was
we
so
live?
good.
Thank you. So a fun story about it is
Tell us.
I was on the team with Crystal, and she told me in advance that she was going to do the bubblegum pop thing.
Right.
And that was my plan, is I was going to come out with a big balloon, pop it, and then walk the runway as normal. But I saw Crystal was going to do it, and I had blown up one and a backup one because we do the runway twice. I picked up both the balloons, and I looked in the mirror, and I was like, oh, this
Smart.
is cool. So the plan had totally changed, and I think the balloons like really land that runway. So like it's such a cool, like literally 20 minutes before we went on, I picked up both those balloons.
Love. Now, did you have some girls take backups? Did you have a backup for this, or was this the original?
Oh, girl, that
Yeah.
the backup thing was crazy.
Really?
Lexi had like 3 different looks for every runway. I was like, to even get all of them was so hard. I was like, I got this clown. And they better like it.
Well, and
And
what
that's
was
what I said every week.
what was so smart about that, though, when you get a challenge that's very generic and like tickled pink or whatever the category was, that's kind of like pretty basic. You have to do something. Don't just do a pink outfit. Do a pink
concept.
outfit that tells a story so the judges remember it. And I think that was so smart about yours and Lydia's. There's a couple that really stood out.
Thank you.
I was going to say, now it sounds like the judges disagree with what we were feeling about some of the competitors. We saw
Yeah.
Corey was safe. Acacia was safe. I thought she deserved that. With Lydia, I think that was correct. They gave her the critique she needed to hear. Who else do we think may be joining her in the bottom? Is it going to be Eddie?
I mean, I was surprised by watching it back. Sam's was, I thought, really serviceable and did
Right.
well for the scene.
Yeah.
So watching it back, I was like, oh, good for Sam. Like, I would not have placed her in the bottom for that challenge.
But also, I think if they place Ariadne in the bottom, we're going to get a lot more confessionals, a lot more reactions.
Yeah, right.
Sam seems level-headed. She'd be like, okay, I'll take it. I'll do my lip sync. I'll go on about it. If Ariadne's in the bottom, we're going to hear about it.
Right.
That shot
Yeah.
of them saying my outfit was fashionable and
Right.
Ariadne goes,
The edit. They
Is she your like arch nemesis or what?
you guys are going to stick around for Untucked, right?
Sure are. We sure are.
Baby! Baby! I can't wait.
What was that?
Pay me my money, Ruru!
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Is there anything you can't do, Susie? What,
No.
What? Susie,
Hell yeah, I
what-
love that answer.
What challenges you? What is the challenge for Susie?
I was terrified of design. I had never
Really?
sewn anything in my life, and I had practiced and learned as much as I could in the months leading up, but I had never finished a garment. I had never completely made something. And I remember when I finished the base red dress for that devil thing, I held it up and it was finally like sewn together. I held it up and I looked at Lexi and I went, I made a dress! And Lexi goes, she's happy about that? Oh, she made a dress, everybody! Like, announced it to the room. She made a dress. Susie's excited about making a dress.
Okay, we're going to be back really quick, but I'm going to ask you one question. Who are you closest to on the cast?
Corey King.
Hey,
it.
before
Well-
we get into Untucked, can we congratulate Suzie on her second win?
2 down, girl.
Yes.
Tell me your thoughts. What was going through your head when you got that second win?
I was so, and the funniest part is, which goes into what we're about to watch, is the first time I won a challenge, we had 3 cheers for Suzie. Everyone was so excited. When RuPaul announced me the winner of this challenge, silence in the back. And that was like a moment of, for me, I was like, oh, okay, now it's not, now I'm a threat. Now people are not excited about me winning. But, the second challenge, the first person to get a second challenge, I feel like, it was so cool. It was sick.
It's like when someone is already in the bottom, it's easier to put them in the bottom, send them home. You're here winning a challenge. Another challenge, it's just that much more difficult to even want to put you in the bottom, deserving or not. You know what I mean? Like,
and with people who like know the show, there's this idea, and you don't know the show. You get on the show, you don't know the show, because literally anything can happen. But all of us Drag Race super fans, were like, well, the first person who gets 2 challenge wins isn't going to go home at this, this, and that. So, like, there is just such a... You just don't know.
love that. I do have to say that when Ariete got eliminated, it almost seemed wrong in a way,
did.
right? Now, she lost that lip sync.
Down.
She lost it.
Down.
I'm not saying... I'm not discrediting Butthole.
Butthole.
It's just so hard to say sometimes. But I just as it happened, I was like, why does this seem so wrong?
But it's because her looks have been so next level. I think most of the previous episodes, you could say without a doubt she had the best runway. Certainly the best makeup. She's incredible.
Yeah. Carson, question for you. Have you ever seen someone get eliminated and you thought, wow, that seems wrong?
Oh.
You don't have to say Naysha Lopez.
Yeah, it was. No, it definitely wasn't Naysha. No, I'm kidding. We love Naysha. She's so good.
Just a punching bag today.
Every time you've been on the show, it's been great. You know, this is the thing. It is not a cumulative competition where we're like tabulating and we're like, oh, on week 1 you won 47 points, and week 2 you had 36 points. It is a game show.
Yeah.
And it is about how you're feeling that day.
Right.
It's about how your skill set meshes with the mini challenge and the maxi challenge. And it's a little bit, you know, you can be super prepared and be really talented, and some really talented people have gone home early. And it's kind of the roll of the dice, and there's a lot of luck involved, and it's just what happens on that day. So many times, people who are phenomenal, who've been doing great all along, they have a stumble, and that's just the format of the show, in that, you know, if you don't do well, you're up for elimination.
Right.
You lip sync.
I am realizing you're not answering the question, though.
What? But
And we're back.
Oh, here we go. And thank you so much.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So fierce. I
had an untucked moment.
Yes.
Girl, I hope that's not the last. You
No.
keep gathering those girls together, honey.
You know, if you know that challenge that they just did, I think it was last week, right? When you did iconic moments of previous seasons, you just made one right
Oh,
now.
yes.
For sure.
Ariete too. That was definitely her. You
so
look like
good.
Linda Evangelista moment.
And she said, and you, I don't know how you're in the top. Oh, it's
Well, I am.
Well, I am. And she said, I'm sitting here in my favorite dress in my favorite color. You can't come for me today.
I love it, Mona.
Good for her.
So good.
I think the whole key of that for me was Corey just falling out.
Started laughing.
I couldn't take. Like, she cannot take.
I remember it was her, it was Corey and Anya both throughout that whole monologue were like laughing hysterically, and that's what encouraged me to like get up and prance around, is that they were so excited by it. Oh,
Work.
I was
I
excited
live.
to come here and watch me win the challenge.
Yeah.
I was more excited to watch that.
Right. No, because it's great TV when
Yes.
you win, when you're doing great on the show, but it's even better when jealous and don't want you there. So no, I live for it.
But what they don't seem to understand, and they were giving all these critiques, it's not about not that yours wasn't beautiful, it's not about the most beautiful or fashion forward, it's about the most memorable. It's drag. The category is pink. You need to stand out. And that's why you won. It wasn't that somebody else's was like less glamorous.
Yeah.
Yours has a point of view, which we say on the show all the time. Drag is about storytelling through fashion. It's not about what should be on the cover of Vogue. It actually shouldn't be on the cover of Vogue. It's about what has personality, what is on brand, what tells a story, and that is what resonated with the judges. And hopefully they're watching this back and they understand that, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Oh, no, they know Suzie is not to be with, honey.
Yeah. So let me ask you, because this has been kind of like a topic of conversation very often. Do you think the runways really matter?
See,
Yeah, very much.
my
Are we
thought
back?
process.
15
Okay.
seconds. You got
Well, hold
15
it.
seconds.
Okay, I think the runway is a tiebreaker. I think if you have a runway, it can affect you in the challenge. And if they're choosing between two people in the challenge, the runway matters.
That was
Oh,
the
we're gonna
fastest
come back to that.
15.
Yeah.
Okay. Things seem to mellow out just a hair, just a hair.
Tad.
For now.
Yeah.
For
but
now.
Carson, I have a question for you.
Yeah, yes.
I don't know how much input you have in what goes on with like gags and like
This is
things for the
very
show.
Diane Keaton, by the
We
way.
did. You don't own me
We
a few
did,
months
you
ago.
don't-
Yeah.
Yeah, it's giving Diane Keaton.
However, were you
sorry.
considered? Were you or Ross considered
Had
for
to
the
get it out.
Badunkadunk tank when that whole thing came up?
No, I don't think we were. Thank because this hair can't get wet. There's only 7 strands of it. So,
TTT.
yeah, but I thought that was a fun moment. And I'm glad it worked tonight, you know?
Now, Susie, for
And
you-
bless Michelle for putting up with it.
Yes, every time. But the bathing suits were sickening.
They were.
Yes.
She looked so
She looked
phenomenal.
so good.
So phenomenal.
Now, Susie, when Ariadne got the second lever pull, Michelle went down. Were y'all excited, or were you like, there goes my chance?
Honestly, I was so gagged. I just did not think it was going to happen. That
Soon again,
reaction,
yeah.
just that it dunked. But I was like, as much as she was not, living for me at that moment on that day, I recognized that her drag was so sickening, and I don't think her performance in the challenge begetted going home. Right. So I was like, if anybody's gonna stay here, at least she gets to continue showing these like unbelievable looks. Yeah. And jealous, like just personally, I wanted to see them. That was just for me. I just wanted to see more of them.
Now, did any of you ever discuss the levers? Because we've talked about it here, and we always said 1 and 7, season 17, especially when the 7
Right.
went down. Would you have? Did that cross your mind? Did you guys?
Did
you
it,
just
and
realized?
It made me so. I was so like.
Welcome
all of us,
to the
all of
party.
us were convinced that it was rigged. All of us were convinced, like, yeah, they pulled the first time, and then whoever they want to stay will be the next one. So I was not thinking at all that it was going to be. I would have pulled 5 because that's my lucky number, and I'd be so pissed if I found out the next girl went and there was a game to it. But didn't have to do that. So
Yeah, did anyone ever think otherwise? No?
I was kind of thinking
17, right?
I was kind of thinking 3 and 4 because they make 7. I don't know. Just like,
Oh, wow, you're overthinking.
I was.
I know.
wow, that's so foolish.
but I would have been wrong.
I was thinking, okay, very produced, but if not produced, 1 and 7.
yeah, exactly.
Is that what you? Yeah.
Yeah, I know that I would have picked 5 and would
Yeah.
have been so mad at myself. That was so gaggy to me. That was gaggy when we all figured out. And they talked about it at length on stage, like after the lever was pulled and it happened.
Oh, damn it.
Never mind. Well, queens remain again.
Yes,
That was a
let's
good
make some noise.
episode, right?
Great episode.
Great
on
episode.
top.
I love Ariadne's day and night attitude.
Okay.
literally.
She was so pissed. I'm on top of the world.
Lana too. Lana was so mad. She turned her back to her friend.
Oh my gosh! She
When
said,
she
she
turned
said,
her back-
I don't want to talk right now.
That was gaggy.
And it was just like last week when Joella turned her face and then put her leg over. I was like, I need to put both of those side by side. That's so good.
I love that. All right, so at this time right now, we are going to say bye to the front bar. Anyone in the front bar that wants to join us for Q&A with our guests, please come to the back. We're gonna do We're gonna start it shortly. And for our non-VIP members, if you are not VIP, this is where we start the Q&A. This is where you get all the tea. So if you're not VIP, you need to become VIP.
I'm VIP.
You are VIP.
Yes, I am.
as
Come
you
on,
should
I
be.
watch.
As you
Oh,
should
yes.
be. It's
Yeah, and I'm
sickening.
going to just
It's-
use your login.
Yes, I got it.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you.
Yes. So if you are not a VIP member for $1.99, you can subscribe.
Yes, find the link in the Roscoe's YouTube page bio, and from there we'll get you set up. It's real cute.
And it's only $1.99.
Really?
Yes.
That's it.
Oh, that's
$1.99.
Cheaper than saving
50
a
cents
child.
a week.
Yes. Oh my God.
It really is. Isn't that crazy?
It
know.
really is. Okay, wait.
Like $12.99 you're trying to save a child a month. This one?
Stop it. Please make some noise for Miss Suzie Toot.
Give it up for
Make some
Suzie
noise.
Toot, yeah.
And keep that going for Carson Kressley.
Kressley.
Please, stay seated.
work?
Stay seated. You can just say toot, toot, toot as well.
Please make some noise for Miss Caramel DeVille.
Thank you,
Diane
Naysha.
Keaton.
Diane Keaton DeVille.
AKA Diane over there.
Yes.
Diana Keaton.
Keep that going for your favorite auntie, Batty Davis.
And rounding out our panel, give it up for Naysha Lopez.
It has been an absolute pleasure. Be sure to join us. Like I said, if you are not VIP, my phone is ringing. Sorry.
Who's calling?
Wow.
It's a client.
Everybody say wow.
Kidding! It's my boyfriend. When he watches this, he's gonna be like, client.
Yeah,
what the f-
I'm like, hey,
anyway,
Jason.
bye.
Bye.